So, I hear you can dual wield. But no offense, why does that make you special? I mean, I can dual wield, but you don't see me bragging about it. Wait, what guns can you dual wield with? Ah, so I see. It's about size. Hold on, I'll be right back. I bet you can't dual wield two rockets. You see, you're not special. Anyone can dual wield. Huh? Wait, what? Oh, no. Okay, you win. Hello everybody, it is me, and today we are taking a look at the Halo Spartan Collection Halo 2 Master Chief figure. Now I know at these reviews I would usually show the unboxing of the figure, but unfortunately, I already opened up the box. Yeah, this video is kind of last minute, but hey, the figure must be really good if I'm making a whole entire review dedicated to it, right? Right? Let's just get this over with. When it comes to the sculpting of this figure, it's actually really good. This figure does a good job capturing Master Chief's look from Halo 2. However, I don't like the green they chose for this figure. For some reason, they chose a bright green color for this figure, even though in the game the green was much darker. This guy looks like a highlighter sometimes. Also, the bright green on this figure makes it look like a kid's toy, and I know some people are gonna say, well, it is a kid's toy. But come on, man, how hard would it be for them to find a good green? But besides that, the figure looks pretty good overall. One positive I have to say is that the figure has much better build quality than the other figures from this line. This figure has nice solid joints that don't feel too loose nor too tight, making posing this guy a lot easier. This guy also has some features as well. On the back of the figure there's this black piece, and if you take it out and switch it on the other side, a peg will stick out. And this peg lets you store larger weapons like a shotgun. And if you're wondering, this guy does not come with a shotgun. This shotgun actually comes from the Jerome figure. The upper thighs of this figure also have this feature as well. All you gotta do is just take out this piece and switch it on the other side, and now you should be able to store more smaller weapons. That looks okay, but as you can clearly see, the piece is bulging out a little bit. So what I like to do is switch the right and left thigh pieces on the other side. Doing that will make the thighs of the figure look a lot better, and the pieces actually fit better as well. Now with the peg sticking out, you can store the SMGs that come with this figure, but I'll cover that later. Also, is it me, or are the hands on this figure incredibly small? They look like baby hands sometimes. I mean, in some angles it looks alright. But compare these hands to the Halo Infinite Master Chief hands. On that figure, those hands are humongous compared to this guy's hands. I also have a major problem regarding the knees and ankles, but I'll cover that later. Now, the reason why I've not been talking about paint that much is because there isn't really that much paint on this figure. The only paint you're going to see is green and black, such as on the hands of this figure, the feet, the thighs, and on the helmet and torso. If you look closer here, you can see the green paint I'm talking about, and this figure also has some silver dry brushing, but it's honestly not that good. And the lack of paint on this figure honestly kind of sucks, since I know they could put more paint on their figures. I mean, look at the Halo Infinite Master Chief figure. The flashlights on the helmet are painted, and there's just so much more paint on the torso as well. So what happened to this figure? Oh well, let's just cover the articulation. Hinge joint at the head, and unfortunately you don't get that much tilt. Swivel at the head, it can look this far down and this far up. Arms have full rotation, arms can move this far out. Bicep swivel, double bend at the elbow. Each of the hands can swivel and have a hinge. There is a ball joint in the middle of the waist that allows for some side to side motion, some tilt, but there is a huge lack of forward and back motion. Legs can move this far forward and this far back. Legs can move this far out. Thighs swivel. Double bend at the knee. Ankles can move this far down and this far up. There is a toe hinge. And you would think there would be an ankle pivot, but instead you get a stupid swivel. What? Why? Posability on this guy. It's fine, you can get some cool stuff out of this figure. But what the hell happened with these knees though? These look ugly! You could poke someone's eye out with these knees. Why didn't they design the knees based off the older figures from this wave? I mean, look at the Halo Infinite Master Chief. Yeah, the knees aren't perfect, but at least look less gappy compared to this. Also, why this? Almost every modern action figure has an ankle pivot. Hell, even their older figures had ankle pivots, so why go back to an inferior design? Look, I know this is a stupid thing to complain about, but when you're posing a figure or using it for a stop motion, an ankle pivot helps an action figure by adjusting it and balancing it. Without that, the process is much more difficult and complicated. You guys have no idea how long it took for me to get this figure into doing the Halo 2 pose. Also, it's not just with this figure, but almost every figure in this line lacks a good crunch. The torso is either useless or hindered. My only suggestion is to hollow out this black piece more, or at least make it smaller, since without it, you do actually get some range and motion with the torso. But since this black piece covers and hinders the ball joint, you can't really get that much range out of it. I mean, you can get some side-to-side motion, but once again, the forward and back motion is very limited. Oh well. At least one positive I can say is that this figure does come with a good amount of accessories. You get fisted hands, one command signal hand, trigger finger hands, and grabbing hands, even though you already got hands to hold the guns. Why? Why not just make these hands open palm hands? I guess you could do this with the hands. Oh yeah, you get some SMGs, which is probably what most people associate with when it comes to Halo 2 Master Chief. And as you can see, these SMGs have peg holes, which means you can store them. However, only the left sides of the SMGs have peg holes, which means if you store one on the right side of the figure, it is going to look normal. But if you store one on the left side of the figure, it is going to be facing the wrong direction. I mean, look at that, it looks like it's trying to shoot him. Why not just give peg holes to both sides of the SMGs, so that it doesn't matter which side you put them on? I mean, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter since I'm going to make this figure hold the SMGs, but it's still such a weird design choice. But besides that, this figure comes with some pretty good accessories, and I am glad that the people at Jazzwares give their figures a good number of accessories, because with some lines like Marvel Legends, they just give their figures like 2 hands and call it a day. Anyways, let's move on to the size comparisons. This figure is around 7 inches tall, which is a pretty good height since Master Chief is canonically 7'2". Here he is with some Marvel Legends, G.I. Joe, Star Wars Black Series, other figures from this line, and some aliens. Also, if the people at Jazzwares are watching this video, please make some Covenant or Banished figures that go with this line. An Arbiter would be cool, and Jaeger or Dunai would be awesome. Overall, I think this figure is good, but it definitely has issues. Look, I know during this review I've been crapping on this figure a lot, but I actually don't hate it. The figure looks pretty cool, despite the lack of paint, and it is fun to pose around sometimes. But there are so many weird design choices regarding this figure, like the ankle swivels and ugly knees. I don't hate this figure, I just think it could have been a lot better. And besides, the figure is only $20, which isn't really that bad of a price, and this figure is fairly easy to find. I found this figure in Target during my first go. So yeah, I would recommend this figure to Halo fans and for collectors who wouldn't mind the issues. Anyways, that is going to do it for this video. Let me know what you thought about it in the comments below, and feel free to like and subscribe. Doing those small things alone would help channels like mine grow a lot. Anyways, I hope you guys had a good 2021 and have an even better 2022. Take care.
Greetings!